the first thing we're taught is before you even speak or open your mouth, the first thing we see is you.
But wait, L, does that mean that what we were taught is correct?
Absolutely not. Good
and
point.
That's all I'm saying is this, man. The same way they teach you that, you were also taught don't judge a book by its cover. So for these young kids who are, expressively creating themselves, I challenge you to do that, but also be well-rounded enough that somebody's judging you, but they don't know the depth of your character, the span of your intelligence, and how well-read or how well-spoken you are, to be able to dispel some of these myths. And yes, you may be starting from a peg behind because of how you look. But, if that's what your thing is,
Yeah, but Eric, and I'm hoping that the people are really comprehending what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about Black men that they are so scared of? Because every time we're seeing the same images, these men are on the floor, they're unarmed, most of the time they're handcuffed. And why are you constantly doing it? And see,
Al, I'll answer the question for you.
Please, I want the people to know.
If you go into a lounge, right, and it's in Bronx River, there's an element that exists in that lounge. If you go into a lounge on 42nd Street and 7th Avenue, your antennas and your consciousness, maybe you may relax a little bit on 42nd Street. And we have come from this area, and I'm only speaking truth to light. We come from these areas, and if we are conscious, not afraid, but conscious, imagine somebody who's not from that culture, how they react when they're amongst these people in these neighborhoods. They're afraid because of what that image represents in their mind.
Yeah, but this, I thought
it's a preconceived notion, but it's just a fact.
No, everything you just said is a straight fact. Now, my thing is, we're talking about solutions and the problem at the same time.
Absolutely.
So why is it when these guys go through the academy, they're not allowing them to be like auxiliary cops so that they can be comfortable within the community? Or if you are born and raised from a certain zip code, why don't you send those cops to their own zip codes to cover the people that they understand, they grew up with, they know?
That could be a potential solution, man. I don't know how many cops there are, whether there's a shortage or how many people are. This is what I do know. I do know that enhanced training is needed. Consistent training is needed. Being able to put resources into. We don't have programming, L. We don't have the Police Athletic League as a constant in our communities where there's relations between people and police officers, where kids and families can see these cops consistently in the community and develop relationships, and maybe they can understand it more instead of just seeing us as a inherent threat on a consistent basis, right? Programs are being cut, rapid fire. And I think that the more you cut programs, then what are you leaving the kids to do? You're leaving them to their own vices. And now the interaction is gone. And now there's nobody overseeing these kids. So a lot of the kids who are demonstrating the behavior that could be disruptive in society, there's nobody to kind of say, yo, it's no OGs in the hood. I think that the issue is we saw these leaders in those times, the Martin, the Malcolm, is they were kind of above reproach. They had their own personal flaws, but you overlook those things because of the fact that they just did so much, and they were only concerned about the greater good. People poked holes in Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton amongst the years, and it devalued their voice.
Absolutely.
And I think that if you're going to jump out there, if you and I tomorrow will just say, follow me, they're going to find the history of what we've done and break us down publicly to now people is going to say, oh, I mean, I think that's why Hillary lost. Because, you gotta build leaders from early, man. People are so easily swayed about stuff that they don't know. They can see something on television and their emotions can go and they can automatically take it as fact without even researching. People were swayed by Facebook bots. So I think ultimately what we're talking about, El, is it's a deep-rooted problem. I want to definitely send my condolences out to the families of Ahmaud Arbery.
Yes, definitely.
George Floyd. I
yes.
worked with my man, Stephen Jackson, Stack 5, and big shout out to my son and Tamika Mallory and all of those people who are on the front line in Minneapolis fighting for change.
Yes.
I've took to social media and made a statement myself. And I just wanted to allow my voice to be heard. And I'm unapologetic about what I said and how I said it. And I want to be a part of the solution. And I want to be clear, Al. There is nothing about me as a human being who holds any malice or ill content towards another man or woman. I am opposed to people who have a mindset who feel that they're inferior because of the race, ethnicity, religious beliefs that they were born into. That's my stance.
Gotcha. Well, my thing is, I definitely want to kind of end my say-so with this. I'll put it this way. I work in the Board of Ed system.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a teacher, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that teacher needs to enjoy children, love children, so that they can teach better? Do you think that would help them teach better?
Well, I think ultimately that would be the goal, yes.
So just like with the police department, look at their system. If you have a bunch of people coming there just for a check, they're not really coming to protect. They're coming for a check.
Or the right to have authority. Earlier, it starts with self-love. And I can't love my fellow man or somebody who looks like me if I don't love myself. And I don't think that there's a lot of people out here who have enough going, who understand who they are, or even love themselves enough to give themselves a shot at being successful outside of what they see every day. So you can't explain a behavior that's unexplainable, Al. I understand that you want to wrap your head around it, but to be honest with you, you're dealing with something that's so deep-rooted that you have to reconstruct the system and how we're raised in order to really tackle that problem that you're speaking of.
Got you. I understand that. Well, one thing we can do, pray. For real, stay focused.
Yeah.
Try to work on your mind, body, and soul. Really be planning, because eventually society is going to go back to normal, and there's going to be
let's hope not, because normal is not acceptable.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
You know what I mean? Because
makes sense.
What normal was is Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd.
Absolutely.
But we don't want that normal.
Absolutely. No. Now, what about our man from Long Island? Did that cop actually do time?
Which one was that?
What was his name? The big guy in Long Island or Staten Island. Gardner.
I don't think so. I think he got off.
No. He's getting paid full pay, and he's working a desk. Life is more easier now for him. They rewarded him. He doesn't even have to go out in the street and meet a quota anymore. Now he just comes in and chills, does his 8 hours. He's getting the same pay. Do you see the reward they give you for killing a black man in America? And I really wish our parents are watching this. That's what I want, because you have these young black boys, and please don't take it for granted when you send them to school. I just gave you a comparison. If a cop is there for a check. 8 out of 10 teachers are there for a check. Know that. So if you're not following up
statements, L.
You know, I want that smoke.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I come from a family of educators, and I know where their heart was, and I know that they were in it to help these kids, and I've seen it firsthand.
I'm talking about majority.
No, but what I'm saying to you is, L, there's another part of it that you also have to address, because on the surface, what you see is the teacher and the frustration. But you talk about the pay that they get in the inner city. You talk about the unruly kids that don't have disciplined parents. You talk about the system that doesn't give them the resources that they need. You talk about not being able to teach because you got to be a disciplinarian, and every 2 minutes you got to send a kid to the dean. Like, some of these teachers.
I work in a high school in the city in Spanish Harlem.
Yep.
Why is there so many teachers from Westchester County, Edgewater, Jersey, commuting in when you have literally teachers putting in applications from your community that you refuse to hire?
Because nobody wants to be a teacher because they don't want to deal with the BS and make short money. And we don't have any.
Teachers are not making short money. Teachers are making 75 and up without a degree.
Well, Al, think about it. If I go to college for 4 years, I still have to see value against work. So if I'm going to deal with that headache, is that 75 really worth it? I better love being a teacher. Because
but being a teacher, I'm not here to literally throw the school system and the police department system under the bus. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you that they go hand in hand.
They do.
And if your educational system is screwed up and the people who's supposed to be protecting you is not protecting you, and that's screwed up, and they're too busy trying to get quotas and making arrests because it justifies for them getting their 80 grand a year, because if they're not making arrests, then why do we need you? So therefore, guess what? Instead of going out and policing, they're hunting.
There's no doubt about that. Just to the last point on education, all I'm saying is there is a lack of male presence, especially Black male presence in the teaching system.
But they won't hire them. That's what I'm in the school system. That's what I'm here. Remember what I said? I want the parents to hear this. Right. They won't hire them.
Yeah, man. It's
I'm in a school where I've seen 3 different young Black brothers come in there to get a job, and they didn't hire them.
It's an inherent issue, and I think that obviously there's so many things that need to be addressed, and all we can do is bring them to the forefront and allow people to consume the information and hopefully use our platform to create change.
That's all we could do. I'm just trying to really just put the facts out there. You know what I mean? Like, it might seem like an opinion, and it is an opinion at the end of the day, because I'm not a specialist.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when you're in the mix, when you're in it, you see it from a different angle than when you're looking from the outside looking in.
Copy that. Well, L, we gave him a mouthful. And I feel like there's so many things that need to be addressed. And, Rome wasn't built in a day. So you take one issue at a time, you knock on one door, you figure one thing out, and you tackle it. And then hopefully that creates change that snowballs, and it allows us to get a momentum, and we start to see incremental change. Because
absolutely,
we're not going to come out tomorrow and everything is just peachy keen and this equality. It's not going to happen. But we have to understand that if we're going to deal with police brutality today, education tomorrow, we're going to deal with the welfare system. We're going to deal with lack of minority teachers and Black teachers, whatever it is. Hopefully, you guys have learned something, and you will not be able to comment on this. Thank you very much for your insight. This is our take and our contribution to trying to affect change in the community for all people and make it an even playing field for people to have opportunities. It's E. Jones.
It's your boy, Black Elvis.
Yo, bottom to the top, Hoop City Legends. We out. Who you want to shout out, bro?
Shout out to God.
Say less.
Peace.